everyone. Today I thought we would take a walk around and look at some of the projects that we've done on previous videos, including some of the weeding of the beds and the pruning of some of the plants, and just kind of take a look at how things are going and maybe what we're going to do next. Now this is one of the raised beds again that we cleaned in the video, and you can see I accidentally forgot to close the little netting fencing that we have in here, and the deer came through here, trampled right through my raised bed, chomped the tops of the tulips off, which I still think they'll be okay because I see a bud coming up out of this one, but the leaves are looking worse for wear. And you can see just how tall the lilies have gotten since we cleaned those up and I gave them a shot of fertilizer. So spring is just so fun. You go from the blah, icky, rain, cold winter, and all this beauty just starts emerging. It's going to be really fun in May because that's when all the colors start to pop. Okay, so I just wanted to give you an update too on the panicle hydrangeas that we chopped back, and like I mentioned in that video, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it below, but it did look brutal the way you can prune these, but again, they bloom on new wood, so you can see after giving them a good whacking back and giving them a shot of fertilizer, they have little buds coming out everywhere. And down there at the end is the one that isn't my panicle hydrangea, but it got a shot of fertilizer too, and it is just pushing out like crazy. So again, I'm excited to see all the pretty blooms on these as the season progresses. Some of my lavender ones did survive. Aren't they beautiful? And this one is almost like a pinky, just has a blush of pink in it. And this one, this isn't normal, so it must have had some kind of a cross, but it's purple and white. And then there's my black and white. And these are anemones. So I wanted to show you, I didn't actually film the whole process, but I brought my stock seedlings down into one of my raised beds, and I got them planted into the ground. Oops, and they've almost already doubled in size since I brought them down here. So we will just follow their progress throughout the season, all the way up until I can show you their glorious blooms. I only wish there was smell-o-vision. Same goes for these bridal crown narcissus. I have a whole bed of them right here, and they just smell divine. But down here I have some other daffodils. Honestly, don't remember the name of these. But then down here is the rest of the stock that I planted. And of course my gorgeous little Tahiti daffodils. Okay, we are on day 2 of just going and looking around at an update of everything that's blooming for the spring. In Oregon, you wait 10 minutes and the weather changes, so it had started raining, so we're gonna take a look at some more things today. This bush right here, this is called a flowering current, and it actually was a volunteer. I believe I had a bird that sat back there. If you can see that little trellis back there that my clematis is growing on. I believe he dropped a seed, and or she, and it just germinated here and got happy. See if I can get up close without getting fuzzy. But it's beautiful. I have another one down below. So before we head down and take a look at my other flowering currant, let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite thing that blooms in the spring? Whether it's a flower, a shrub, or a tree. I'd love to read it. And here is my other one down in this flower bed. And a flowering currant is native to Oregon. So I actually see a bumblebee working away on it. I'm going to see if I can get up close. Oh, he moved. But this plant, it's gorgeous, and it's one of the first big bursts of spring, so it always makes me happy. My little grape hyacinths are starting to pop out everywhere in this big, gorgeous sea of daffodils. Here is one of my peonies. I need to still clean this flower bed up and some of the old dead stalks from last year, but this is a gorgeous, huge, double ruffly, can't remember the variety name, but if you would love to see this kind of stuff, I'm going to take tours around the garden all throughout the season, so make sure you're subscribed. And it's a little breezy today, but here is my bleeding heart, and if you haven't ever seen one before, this is why they call it that. It's a little heart shape with a little drop down at the bottom, which kind of makes, I guess, it look like it's dripping. I don't know, but it's really fun and pretty in the spring. My hydrangeas are starting to get really nice and bushy. I gave the chickens some broccoli and a cabbage plant, so they have some fresh greens today. Always wondering if I'm going to give them something different. This girl right here, my daughter named her Twinkie, because when she was a baby, she was just a bright yellow ball of fluff. Popped into the greenhouse for a few minutes. It's only like 10 in the morning. Temperature inside the greenhouse is just about at 80. My big fan's probably going to kick in pretty soon, but right now you can probably just hear the internal fan. But all the cool flower plants and my peas and everything that I have down here are doing well. The peas are about ready to go into the garden. Let's see if I can come down here. I'll give you a view. They're not super big yet, but getting close. We just have a couple of nights that are going to be in like really low 30s for here at this time of the year, like 34 and 33. So I don't want to put them out until that's passed, because it's going to go back up into the 40s. And these are my sugar snap peas, and these here, these are actually sweet peas. Beautiful, gorgeous pink, and then I have some that are lavender. So we will be watching those throughout the season. This is a white lilac tree that I have. It's fairly young, not very big, but I did notice today I do have my very first bud. So that'll be fun not only to see it, but to smell it. This is a purple lilac. It's a little bit further behind, but it does have new growth coming out on it. It's bloomed once. It took a break last year, so I'm really hoping that I'll have a nice show. This is a nice dark purple lilac tree. My rosemary is all bloomed out in its glorious lavender color. Okay, so here is an update on the ever-bearing raspberries. There are actually a few red raspberries in here, but most of these are golden raspberries. And if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I will link the playlist down below. But we did a video on pruning these and then fertilizing them. Our little Coralbells are just starting to push through the ground. This is a little spearmint plant that I have, starting to put on some new spring growth. My strawberry plants, these are just ones I have up here in a container on the deck. I actually have two up here. I do also have two pretty large raised beds down in the garden. And then over here, this is a creeping Jenny. It's starting to take off again with some spring growth. This beautiful little spring, I don't remember the name of it. If I find the name of it, I'll put it up on the screen for you. And then last but certainly not least, beautiful little pansies. These are just volunteers that have lived over from ones that I had planted last year. I also have this variety and this variety. It has a little bit more of a defined yellow center, but just beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed the little tour of all the things that are bursting here in spring and an update on a few of the projects that we did and how they're looking so far. So I just want to thank you all for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time.